Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Nah, nah, nah. Nah, nah.
And yes, this is Gem Radio. I think we're on episode 15, and this is a very special episode. We're doing this pretty much on video for the first time ever.
Hey.
And you know what? You can't do this all the time because this is a joint partnership between me and this beautiful lady right here. And we have Kkimmestry on the show for the first time ever. The first time on a Go On There podcast. First female on Gem Radio. You've been one of the most talented females out here in New Jersey for a very long time. You've released Free Dope 2 years ago. Yeah. Is that right?
Yes.
So, like, what's been going on between that time and till now?
Pretty much between then and now, it was like a lot of getting my personal life put together. You know, like straightening things out with school, finishing up, like just trying to figure out where I'm going next. I was working on a short film to finish my thesis, which I actually spent some time on for a while, promoting through like film festivals. It was at the Newark International Film Festival as well as the Montclair State Film Festival.
So you did get into film. You did actually take a little bit of a break from music, I guess.
Yes. And
you went into filmmaking, which is one of your other talents, and then you made a film called the Sellout.
Yeah, Sellout. Yeah.
Yeah. So for anybody who doesn't know anything about that film, would you like to elaborate more on the synopsis of the film?
Yeah. Well, Sellout was pretty much just about a young female artist trying to make it in the music business without quote unquote selling out. Like the whole theme is like if you look at today's industry now, a lot of women rely on like their sexual attributes or like being pretty to kind of push forward in the industry. And my focus was to say that that's not the way that you always have to go. Like if you have morals, or not morals. Let me not say that. But if you have I'm not saying let me straighten that out real quick. It ain't nothing about morals, but I just want to let them know that you don't have to rely on that. That's not your only way in the door. Like at the end of the day, these lyrics, these things that are going on in your head, in your mind, are strength too. They're power too, and you don't have to settle because the industry says so.
Well, do you think there's a problem in the industry right now? And that's like the lyrics or the talent is like the number one focus anymore. Yeah. It's more about the popularity at this time.
Yeah. That
now people are just signing people off of like how many Instagram followers they have, YouTube with views. It's not even about the talent anymore.
Yeah. It's really hard to kind of argue with that at this point right now because
I don't want to argue with it. I hate it. I'm just there's like so many great artists out here right now that are being overlooked because they're not, having a following, doing the most chaotic shit of all time. It's always been like that. In this new era of like how these A&Rs are doing things, and I'm not feeling any of it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's very much a popularity contest, and I feel like it's kind of weeding out that pure talent that does exist in this world today, especially when music is so easy to make right now. Like in a sense where it's like you can find a record, like you can set up recording and do things and put it out. I'm not necessarily saying that everybody's content is going to be A1 or 100%. No. It's just possible. It's just possible now to make it happen. So like to filter it is just so much harder now. And A&Rs are like, now at this point, we're begging, we're chasing and scraping, whereas A&Rs in the past, they had to look for talent. They had to find those faces.
To be honest, I think it's really back to where it's supposed to be. Like they're supposed to be looking, because I feel like I think a lot of these artists right now, they're not really looking for they know they're getting fucked when they get into these damn situations. I might own an independent label, but I'm all about making sure my people get paid. I like the name Dash business model, making sure everyone gets paid. Very true. It's just not the same anymore because you got everybody getting 360 deals and they're getting so so much money. As you've seen, like with what's going on with Uzi Vert, how the label made over 15 million or more than that off of XO Life, and he only made 950,000. So,
wow.
you know, and like it's crazy as to how streams have like became the most biggest part in this industry right now, and it seems like it's only going to the label's favor at this point.
Yeah.
Because it seems like they're getting a bigger cut. Because you see, they tell you like the little stats of how much those streams are costing or how much you're gonna get for those streams, and it just seems like it's bullshit. And how the label's getting that much money based on the streaming, and the artist getting less. So there's a problem with that.
Yeah, definitely.
Major problem. So you actually got your your film into like the North Film Festival.
Yeah.
How was that experience?
It was fun actually. Just hanging out for the weekend and getting to see other people's films, getting feedback on my own personal film, and really seeing that positive message like really do something for people. Like when it comes to my music, when it comes to filmmaking, I'm all about the message and I'm all about connecting with people. So when I see like somebody take something from a film and actually analyze it and say, yo, that part right there, that did something for me. Right. Like that's when I know that I've been doing my job, or like that, like it's more than just about what comes out of it for me. It's delivering it's delivering something for the people as well, and we can kind of balance each other out on that.
That's true.
Because I think film and music isn't just about the artists themselves or the director themselves. That's not what creates like good content. Good content is when you give to the people and they can take from it.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly. And it's also, you actually can have a point of view and you can show it to the people, to the world. It's like your art. And it's like you get it to the world. So, being that I'm not a filmmaker, I've tried my whole share of trying to do a music video, and that went terribly well. And I just wanted to know, like, how's the process of putting together a film, like from beginning to the distribution process? Well, we're not at the distribution process yet, but the fact that you was able to show it to a group of people is a big accomplishment.
Definitely. I think the process with filmmaking, it can be a little more tedious than when it comes to making music. Because when it's music, I'm like writing studio. That's like
you ain't gotta worry about permits and shit.
Yeah, you know, like it's very personal. You got your space, you got your engineer, and you go. Yeah. But when it comes to filmmaking, it's layers. So you gotta get your cast together. You gotta get your crew together. Before that, you gotta write the story. You want to go over it, check it over. I've written like draft after draft of each movie I've ever written. Like there's like no less than 4 drafts of that version of that movie. Even with Sellout, like after filming and putting it together and showcasing it, I wound up showing it to a small group first, and they're like, yo, something's missing. You need to add something to this. And it's like, so now you're going back to first base all over again, writing again, checking again, making sure it fits in with the footage you already shot. It's like the thing about filmmaking is you have to understand that as much as you plan, everything is gonna go wrong. Everything is gonna go wrong. So either like every step you have to have like a backup plan for.
Exactly.
So after writing and getting it together, you get your cash, you get your crew, you gotta find locations. You might have to pay for some of those locations. You gotta find props. You gotta cater to, like, if people are doing it for free, you want to make sure they're comfortable. You got to get food for every single day of the set. You want to get lights. You got to get your equipment.
I'm gonna leave the direction to you. I ain't doing all that.
You spend money on these things.
There's a reason why there's food trucks. Oh shit.
No, it's definitely a tedious process, but when it comes together, you treat your cast and your crew well, and that's very important. Treating people well and having a good attitude makes for the best sets. So I feel like when everything falls into place, you get yourself a good film.
Right. So what made you want to be a director?
For me, I feel like music and filmmaking are very synonymous. Like in the future, I want to be even more like visually appealing when it comes to my music. I tell stories, so I see stories, obviously,
of course.
and I want to be able to show that. Filmmaking is just like another avenue to kind of like address those thoughts in my mind when I can't process them through music.
Right.
So I think that's the biggest reason why I wanted to go into directing or filmmaking. I learned that I actually liked it a lot in high school when I took an aspects video course with my teacher. Shout out Mr.B. Yeah, and
oh, not me. So you had that. So what were you like your inspirations? Were there like any like black filmmakers that you take a kin to or anything like that?
I mean, you have your obvious groups. Like everybody gotta love a Spike Lee film. Come on, you gotta love.
Of course, come on.
You gotta love a Spike Lee
that's
film.
too easy.
But that is
like
too obvious.
you know, like because I would like if I was to make my list, it would probably be Spike. And of course, the Hughes brothers is pretty okay. Yeah. Eva DuVernay's pretty really good. I don't know, is she black? All right, we'll think about that. 'Cause she did Selma. She's good. So
she fit the search.
That's fine. She does unapologetically black stuff, so therefore she's black now. I don't care. She's Rachel Dolezal's sister. It
works.
So yeah.
Definitely.
What's my guy who made Boys in the Hood? John Singleton.
Yeah.
John Singleton. Baby Boys' worst film of all time, but it's okay.
What?
Oh no, I'm just fucking with you. That's one of my favorites.
That gotta go in that goes in the vault too. I got.
Nah, because y'all on some real shit. Like I was listening to this podcast called The Read actually, and my mother was like, "Yeah, I don't like Baby Boy either. That's fucking that fucking movie was trash." I was like, "Damn." I was like, I actually liked the film. I understood what the direction of that film was about. Like, it was something really different. It came across a little stupid, but at the end of the day, it was really good.
It had its moment. I think if you walk away from it taking only certain portions, then you can look at it and be like, "Oh, this is mad ignorant." This is mad ignorant. But like if you like read into it, you can see that there's a story there.
Well, if you took it from the beginning part when Tyrese was an embryo as a grown ass man, there's
something to be said about that kind of image.
It explained. Like, they even explained, like, the beginning part. Like, to be honest, they could have ended the movie right there.
That was the answer. Just put it in a meme real quick.
Yeah, that was it. Like, that was it. So, yeah, that, like I said, like, yeah, like, yeah, Baby Boy was not one of his best films, but it had something. It had something that was like, okay. So let's get into this hip hop thing. Because you're a very talented individual in this hip hop field.
Thank you.
So I was want to know, like, who got you into hip hop? Like, how did you get into this?
It's strange. I mean, like, there were dabbles in my life that guided me in that direction. I mean, when it comes to my family, I have like 3 older brothers. All of them were into music. Like the youngest of the oldest he did some producing and stuff early on. They all did some producing. The 2 oldest, Richard and Rod, they both were rappers, and they kind of showed me.
You said word, or they still doing anything?
I mean, they're still doing their thing from time to time, you know. But they're still like in the past, like they did a lot of rap, and I just like saw what they were doing, and it was just like yo, Kim, little sis, come here, like I got this rhyme, just write it, like spit it real quick, and then like I look at it and be like, next morning, like just spitting it. I like the vibe of it, and I think in the very beginning that's where some of it came from. I remember like also being in the car with my dad and like him just like taking like Slick Rick songs and then like freestyling over the beats and be like, okay, your turn, to my brothers, and I'm like feeling it the entire time. So I feel like those were like little dabbles that kind of like sparked the interest.
Yeah.
But like throughout most of my life, I really wasn't like listening to hip hop early on, which is funny. It's funny. I didn't really get into hip hop until high school.
So pretty much, like, what else was being played, like, in around in the house and stuff like that?
A lot of old school music. Like my mama, like she was loyal to 98.7. So Kiss FM, Kiss FM was what we was rolling around listening to. She used to be in real estate a lot, so we would take a lot of drives looking at houses and things like that. So
right.
Yeah, so like we spent a lot of time in the car listening to music. So I think most of like my soulful influences and like that R&B kind of feel, or like even the way I choose beats or the sounds I like comes from like that older kind of vibe that like them Isley Brothers feels, or like, you know, just like even Janet Jackson and things like that. Like those vibes are what I kind of
which like. You know, if y'all haven't listened to the Finally EP or you know the new video that's out for Finally, Janet Jackson, yeah. I haven't seen nobody flip that sample yet, or somebody rap as great as her. And who's the female who's on that? She's really amazing.
Asia Iona. Yeah, she was. Yeah,
I only wanted to make you pronounce that. I couldn't.
Don't worry, I was about to get beat up a few times because it took a second.
She gangster.
But you know, nah, she a sweetheart. Definitely a sweetheart. And honestly, it's crazy. Like the chemistry that you see in that video is just like surreal to me, because like she's like one of these people that I met in a short time frame and we just clicked. Like originally when I wrote that song, it was me on the chorus and I did it a little bit differently, and like it just wasn't working. I showed it to a friend of mine and I showed it to my dad, and I'm like, because those were the two people that I felt like, you're gonna give me the truth. If I tell you like, listen to this, tell me what you think, they're gonna be like yes or no. And ultimately it was just like, yo, this needs something. And I'm like, all right, cool, so what do? Originally I got a different singer in, and we worked on the song a little bit, but it still wasn't like feeling right. It was just like something like, we gotta change it up, we gotta do something. Ultimately she wound up not being available again, so I brought my friend in the studio. She helped me work out the kinks. Shout out to Raquel Sims. She helped me work out.
I heard she's a talent. She's a director as well.
Definitely. Working on a new web series titled In, so check out for that. You know.
I've been hearing about it.
Yeah. So so she helped me out with some of the ideas, and then she's like, well, why don't you try checking for a new singer? So I did some looking around. My boy Steven Braxton, he did a song with Asia, and I just found her online, and I'm like, yo, you don't know me, I don't know you, but I heard you like on one of these songs, and I need you right now. What's up?
Damn, that's how I got to go.
It got like, it was like coming down, because I had everything like set up already, like when I want to shoot the video, like timing and everything. I'm like, yo, we gotta get this done. Right. I'm just like, yo, can you please? So it was that Saturday that I wound up hitting her up. That Monday she came to my house so we could like review it, and like it was like instant how we clicked. Like the vibes were just beautiful. Tuesday we recorded it, and then that Saturday we shot the video. And it was just like crazy, like the time frame and like how easily it worked out once we got together. It's like the vibes were just A1.
Yeah, it was, man. Like, so let's see. So you dropped a few singles here and there. You had the American Dream. Yeah. You had Nomads. Then there was the drought of music.
It's dry.
So then it was not. Now you're here with the final EP.
Yeah.
So you know what's been going on in your life. I know usually when I deal with a lot of artists, there's a lot of things going on in their life that stops them from creating musically.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like with La Brea, having a kid, getting married. Miz, having a kid, getting married. Well, not having a kid, but getting married. Then having a kid.
Definitely.
You know how it works. So, you know, was there anything going on in your life that you think that you can share? You know, what's been going on?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, a lot of it was pretty much just in my own head. Like I think there was a period where I was like falling into a depression, and it was just like and it was just like I didn't know what was next for like myself per se. And I was like finishing up school, trying to straighten that out. I feel like money was behind. Like the job that I had just wasn't giving me enough hours. I didn't have enough stuff. It's just like all the things. It's just like all these things that I wanted to do. I felt like I couldn't do. Like I felt like in a standstill, even with the group that I was working with at the time. Just like falling out of sync with what was going on, or like how like our pages of where we should be were just like switching.
Yeah, just started switching.
And that's natural. As people grow, your ideas change. But I think like all of those things kind of just like started getting to me a little bit, and like so I kind of didn't really have like the words to put down right away on how I was feeling. And me being away from music, like music is my love, so I feel like me not even being able to express those ideas, those emotions in music is really what bothered me the most.
Right.
So that's what kind of put me in that mindset, that kind of place. And ultimately, when finally, like, the first song that I got out of that was Dr. Dyer's Power of Intention.
I was going to ask you about that. Where did that come from?
That actually came from a book, which is the title of the song. I'm
seeing, like, you're talking about your reading a lot more. You get some self, some knowledge yourself. Yeah. So, like, elaborate a little bit on that.
Definitely. That book, Power of Intention, was just like... it was a funny thing about that book, because it was like I wound up coming across it. I was with a friend at a store, and I wound up coming across it and buying it, just feeling like I needed anything. I was grabbing toward anything to try to make me feel better. And had it for a while, looked at it, I'm like, I'm not about to read this. Like, self-help books, like, come on.
Well, about to happen. I'm not going to lie. I tell people, it's good to read some self-help books.
No, it's
not bad. It's not for self-help. Sometimes it's good to give you another perspective.
It is.
Like, I get bought on Charlamagne's Black Privilege.
Okay.
That book is amazing to me, because now
I've heard. I'm excited to read it.
Because to me, because what it did for me was that when he talked about how people will like come up to you and be like, yo, like, give me a shot, this and that, and like anybody, and like you have these mediums like YouTube, you have all these things, and you don't have no type of material that's out there, so you're just asking for the handout. Yeah. So in my mind I was like, damn, I'm on my way, fuck it. Let me keep doing what I'm doing. So if I was to ask, like, for real, I'd be like, hey, this is what I got. Because what he's trying to say is like, I'm not asking for like A1 experience, I'm trying to see that you actually made that.
You're trying.
Something.
Yeah.
And so that's something that really like stuck with me, and the career paths and everything like that, and like there's a lot of things that he talked about. I know he's gonna have another book soon, but I can't wait to read that, because it's probably gonna be about how he got just about radio, how to do certain techniques, how to really set yourself up for certain things. I like I said, like when I started doing gym radio, it was because I wanted to play other people's music that wasn't on the radio. So that was the best thing for, people like you. Anybody, if I had some like unreleased stuff that somebody didn't want to release, I'll play it on, play it in the mix and everything like that. And of course, interviewing these people, because they're because some of these people, including yourself, y'all are very, very interesting. And I think people need to learn more about other people that are not in the eye of the public as much.
Yeah.
So, like, here we are.
Appreciate it, definitely.
But in terms of like, the going through the depression and all the stuff that's going on, I feel like, and finally, it's a departure from where you were in Free Dope, and it's like you really have found yourself.
Yeah. It's funny because, like, I feel like a lot of times it takes, like, lows for you to find understanding a little bit. Because, like, when you're okay, you don't pay attention to things that are missing as much. And when you're low, you kind of really, like, searching yourself. And I could even say in this time frame that I even got closer to, like, just God in general. And, like, I mean, it was just like, I don't know. It's just that kind of connection.
Where's your connection with God before that?
I mean, like I definitely feel like God was like there, and like I believed and I had a certain faith, but it just felt like different. It was never like just communicated, and now I feel more obligated just to talk to him more, just to you know. And it's not like a set up specific kind of structure of God, and it's not correlated to any type of religion specifically. It's just my relationship with God, just me and him talking. Yo, what's up today? Like, I don't gotta start no specific kind of way. I don't gotta end with a particular amen or anything like that. But if I want to talk, and he's just there, and it's like, I just feel like that newfound energy created a certain like kind of, I don't know. It's a different joy that you carry in yourself when you feel the confidence of God around you, and it's not even just like man upstairs. It's like God, and you see God in people. You see God in how people function and how people see each other, and like life around you. Like, I don't know. It's just being able to accept that everything around you is like a gift can really just like open your eyes to life in general. So I feel like I built a relationship with the presence of God. I built like I got a chance to like really just look at myself and look at where I wanted to be and talk about that. And I think it was very different from Free Dope in a sense where Free Dope and any music I've had in the past, I'm very used to being just like mildly cocky, you know, like this is me, this is my swag.
It was like that. And then when I'm hearing this, I'm like, you tone that shit down.
Yeah, no, that was gone.
It was like, yeah, I'm humbling the fuck out. Right
yeah, no, it was definitely gone. It was nerve-wracking a little bit for me to kind of put this on the table, because I feel like these are my feelings, these are real, and y'all have the opportunity to like just like either shut it down or like it. And it's like that's a scary feeling when you feel vulnerable in yourself and like still just give it to the world and tell them like, yo, this is where I was at, and give it up and put it on a platform for people to judge and, you know, scrutinize. But I feel like the message was more important than my fear of wondering what people are gonna think.
Exactly.
And that's why I wanted to get it out. That's why I didn't care of like all right, this is so different from such and such. Like, how are they gonna perceive me now? And I feel like moving forward, that was another fear I had in mind, that if I go back to a certain way, are people gonna judge that? It's like, oh,
it'll be great to balance. It's great to have a balance.
Yeah, you know?
It's not bad. It's not bad to have some confidence. You just don't be Troy Ave with it. Just don't. I definitely see myself like dabbling back and forth between those different moments in my life, because we as people, like in general, we're not one track minded. Like, people are so many different ways that folks gotta understand, like, to box an artist is like just damn near impossible, because like people are changing just like you're changing every day. This person is changing. The only difference is they can say it in music, right? So
you have to be able to understand that and take that in. So you definitely gonna get some more Swaggy Kim. It's coming. You're gonna get some Swaggy Kim.
Swaggy Kim.
Yeah, but
mixtape coming out very soon. Swaggy Kim.
Swaggy Kim. Yeah, but
I'm gonna put her head on top of Swaggy P's head. On that.
Yeah, but you know, every so often we need to come back and just like let people know honestly where we are. And I think with finally, it was just like, all right, this point in my life I wasn't okay, but I also left you like knowing that now I am, and now I have a different perspective. The time when I started writing it, I think I was like completely in the center of my feelings, where it was like bad was here and great was here, and like I was shifting at that time. And that's when the words started coming out, and that's why through a lot of the songs you can hear a bounce between past and present. Like finally it's like you start in one place and you end in another. And when I end the whole project on New Beginnings, I actually take you even further back to like just like even before this emotion. And just I kind of wanted to end it again on a positive note, on a positive level. Like, all right, now I know what I need to do. Let's push forward.
And how's the reception been for finally?
It's been beautiful, honestly. I think it's the most different that I've felt, and I feel like this is the most connection that I've had to interacting with people.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the responses are more personal in a sense where it's like they're pinpointing things that matter to them, and it's like, yo, this part helped me out, thank you for this song. Or like just like the mindsets that people have, or like want to know more about certain situations and things. I like this feedback more than Free Dope, because Free Dope was a little more like, yo, you're dope. Yo, this is fire.
It really
yo,
was.
You got bars. Like it was cool.
It's like you really had something related.
I said that.
Oh god.
Oh boy. Alright, so where was I at? Yeah, definitely. With Free Dope, it was definitely a lot more just like swag. Like, that's cool, that's dope, I'm feeling that, and finally was like connection. Like this you said right here helped me or changed something for me. And even people just saying, yo, I've been playing this song over and over and this helped me do such and such. And I'm like, yo, that's kind of like, that's what's cool to me. Like I said in one of my previous posts, like it takes away that ideal of like artist to fan, like, and kind of just goes person to person with it. And I kind of like that feeling a lot more.
Yeah, once you have it that people are connecting to the music, you have something special. Like not a lot of people just like to listen to music, they digest it, throw that shit away. Some people who any music right now that you can have connection to, that shit will last. Yeah. And like this is what you're doing right now. You're making music that'll last for some time. Maybe it'll last for somebody through somebody's lifetime. Maybe you never know. Because you state some things that are very relatable to anyone. But you know, not everybody's living the same experience. But at the end of the day, you're getting somebody, and that's the best thing. Like, I'm glad that the people that I've like forwarded the album to, they love. The EP too, they love it. Yeah, and that's a good thing. Beautiful. So I want to discuss about females in hip hop. There's like this thing where it seems like there's has to be one at the top. And everybody, and then if one person starts to come out of the cracks or anything, they try to pit that one against the other. Do you feel that that needs to change? Oh,
of course. I feel like it's become so much of like a thing now that even like female artists just feel obligated. Like, that's my spot, so I'm going for that spot, instead of like assuming like, yo, it's a lot of spots out here.
There's a lot of spots. Y'all not doing the same.
To each other.
Y'all not doing the same music together.
Exactly. It's so many different. Like,
first of all, we like, how old are you?
25.
Okay, you probably could hit where I'm going to talk about. I'm 28, but I come from an era where we had Missy Elliott, Eve, Missy Elliott, all these people like. Ladies Night, all these people, and we can't get like a bevy of mad female rappers that can all be successful all at once. All those females that I could mention are all successful and have platinum albums. Yeah. So even though they like to attribute it to like, when you sign a female, you have to make it look a certain way, this and that, and all that other shit. And I'm just like, this is why all these kids doesn't work makeup now. So therefore, like the end of the day, Like, you know, I wish that whole aspect of the industry would change. Well, you know, just the mainstream, because, you know, in independent, we really don't care. We'll make sure you walk out looking like you came out of a tree. Everybody neo soul.
Yo, that is the truth, though.
That is shit. Like every contemporary R&B artist came out of a tree. Like, I'm just saying. Everybody was independent and R&B artists look like they came out of a tree or outside of a project. That's how they look. Everybody. They said, nah, it's independent vibe.
Get this money vibe. We're trying to work on that. I definitely feel like in the industry that needs to change. I'm hoping that our independent circle blows enough to be able to showcase that. Like, when you got people coming together like King Nyla, I don't know if you know her. Yeah, she's been putting together the FemC movement.
Okay, I heard.
And just curating things like that, events like that, like where women can come together and like you see the energy that they carry and the love that they have for each other. I feel like having something like that in the industry would definitely like strengthen those kind of vibes and break down that whole ideal of just one woman in the field. Definitely needs to change.
Wasn't she the one that she had like Nate Scott a couple times or something like that? Or was that something else?
I don't know if she had Nate Scott now.
Well, that was something else.
No, yeah,
we're cutting that out. So one of the things I like about you is that you don't rely on your sexuality at all, to be honest, because you don't really talk about it. It's like, is it like none of nobody's business at all?
I wouldn't say that, honestly.
To be honest, it is not. None of our business.
It's no one's business ultimately, but I don't think that's why like the music doesn't portray it. I just feel like sometimes there are messages that I prefer to put out at this time frame. Like if it's something like
Swaggy Kim, all that shit.
Yeah, you know, like I like the fun of wordplay. I'm not gonna lie, I have some like, you know, ideas and some songs that, you know, could get a little raunchy here and there, but like overall, like the content lies in like
it's tame. You know, it's not like Young Ma talking about using dildos and shit like
see,
that.
Like I probably won't.
And I'm like, and that shit's on like national, on like syndicated radio, and kids are listening to that shit. I'm just like, oh god.
It's a tit for tat. I can't even like knock that in a sense where I don't know if that'll come out of me one day. If it's there, it might just show up. Well, but like I don't.
Do you think because being in the fact that, you know, the industry, not hip hop. Hip hop is really not gay friendly at all. Even though they like the bullshit. Even though everybody wearing tight pants and Vera Wang, but but at the end of the day, like, you know, it seems like the industry is like bringing in, you know, certain acts that are homosexual and stuff like that. Like
I feel like women acts are
easier
really,
to digest.
Definitely way easier to digest, and if you look at just life in general, like females who are homosexual have more likely of a chance to be accepted than most men, and if we get into that world, it's just like it's a lot harder for guys, especially in the hip hop community. If you look at the black community, like the same kind of like, I guess, segregation they get in that field carries over to this culture. And if you ask me, I think it is a little unfair, but like I that's kind of where we're at right now. And it's
I think
bad for me right now.
It is not too bad for you. As long as you are skilled and you're able to do what you do, I don't think anybody's gonna even give a shit about the fact you're lesbian, animal, any of that type of shit. No one's not gonna care, because it's like, you know, when I had this conversation with my podcast partner for Any Gold Podcast, Fat Caesar, I told him, like, it's not that she's gay, it's just that she's relying too much on how much of a butch she is.
It can stand out a little bit when it's like every other line is just like, you know.
Yeah.
Like, let me remind you, I do this. Like,
I got the rock cock. I was like,
yeah,
what?
like.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, to some extent, I do feel like, you know, like, if that's the answer to like your lyricism, then that could be a problem a little bit. Like, I don't. But
if that's the answer, then you just need to get the fuck out.
Yeah, but I think that goes across both fields.
Yeah,
like,
that's
a lot of men like that. I mean,
yeah,
that's
I'm not gonna lie.
You know?
I think R&B kind of died a little bit because everything's about fucking and not about love. And it's it's getting to a point where it's some shit.
Yeah, it's definitely.
When Chris Brown talking about how far his cum shot can get to your face, it's kind of like, what the fuck, like, dude, like before you were 16, you were doing records at the same time. Yeah, and like, those records was about love. It's not about already in the pants already.
Yeah, I feel like the creativity like changed a lot.
Now,
like, the way you talk about sex, like, because it's not like R&B in the past. Like,
no,
and I'm talking like old school R&B. Like, it's not like in the past they didn't talk about sex, but they worded it different. It was like they had metaphors, they had wordplay, they had like just different ways of putting it down.
We had a song on the radio called "I Beat the Pussy Up." So therefore, the motherfucker got in the pants already at the beginning of the song. It was.
Yeah, no, it's definitely changed on like just how blunt and straightforward it is. I just feel like there's
kind of corny.
Nobody's fancy anymore. It's very straightforward and it's just
be vulgar as shit about that shit. Like, it's just ridiculous.
Like everything is just like how wild can we make it? Like how vulgar, how like straightforward can we make it? I feel that way about a lot of things today, and it's just like it takes away from the art of like the artistic design of lyricism, and you can change the way that you talk about anything and make people enjoy it on a different level when you use lyricism.
Right.
So
yeah. So the last time we probably, I think we was at Cafe Soleil. You know, I remember you used to be down. You was down Cold Coast and all. Mm-hmm. I've been seeing less of your presence.
Yeah. And
are you still part of the collective, the group? I don't know what it is. The label, is it a collective?
The group, Cold Coast. That's their label. I'm no longer a part of Cold Coast, but I mean, it's no hard feelings. Definitely, I still got a lot of love. I talked to Don on Saturday. I saw him at the wedding. He was very, very like so optimistic about you. Yeah, there's no love lost whatsoever. I feel like I said, when it comes to your own mindset, when it goes to music and like where your path is, your paths change, and you know, musically and like where we were headed as a group may have changed. I may have stepped away from that, but like the support that we give toward each other, or the love that we have for each other, that didn't change. You know, like, I mean, originally, you know, when you first step away from something, it gets, you know, people have hard feelings at first. It's just like, you know, it can be frustrating, and we stepped away from each other for a little while, but like going back into the path of realizing why we were there in the first place and just like talking it out over time, like we got to a good headspace with each other. So it's definitely no love lost. If they got something going on, like shouts out to them, and like I'll support like by any means, and we can still do music together. That's not a problem. That's the magic of like independence. Much love to Cold Coast. I still rock out with them. I still record with the engineer Goody. Goody.
Helps. Do not wear the sarcasm shirt while doing radio interviews.
Yeah, there's definitely not too many people that I trust with my sound. So I'm really, like, me and Goody have really developed a good relationship when it comes to being in a studio, and I wouldn't want to change that. So
good. So finally, EP is out.
Sound.
6 tracks.
6 tracks.
I feel it's a step up from your last work. And I feel it's a precursor for whatever is going to happen in your career. I'm scared of what's going to happen in your career. I think you're going to be successful. And successful can be scary.
Yeah.
But are you ready for that?
I think I'm ready for it. I just, I'm in a place right now of like trying to figure out what to look for. Like where is the next step? And like,
you're not trying to go to a label.
I don't think I'm ready for that kind of motion yet.
No.
I don't want to, like, ultimately, I don't want to be a part of a label. Like, I know that there's situations where you can have deals with labels, and if we have to function in that realm just to, you know, like, spread the word and do certain things, then that's as far as I kind of want to go. Mm-hmm. But, even now, like, with something like that, the way contracts are, like, manipulated, I'm not ready to even go in that realm yet, because I feel like I need to train my eyes, I need to train my ears, I need to
You need to get a lawyer. Like, what is wrong with you?
I want to know what the lawyer doing.
Well, that's the thing about it is, I'll always advise people. I also go into legal myself.
Yeah.
The thing is that never ever have a contract be read to you by the lawyer of the label itself.
Oh no,
that's the dumbest shit in the world. Don't ever do that.
If I know anything, that's one of them.
that don't ever, like, people fuck up and they do that, and I'll just be like, they're representing them. They're not representing you. They don't care about you. You need to really get a good relationship with a lawyer, or you better have a manager that knows law, and they'll be able to read that contract a little bit better, and they'll know that you're not getting fucked, or there's like no little fine prints underneath other prints, and all kinds of other shit. Like, people will have to really start being a little bit more informed before they start putting their names on the dotted line and putting themselves in a commitment where they're either going to be in debt for life.
We gonna see money way too fast.
Well, it's just anybody who's a minority, who's dealt with poverty, haven't seen no sort of money. They know, they, meaning the industry or any of these people, they know that once we see money, that's all we want. Yeah. We never seen it before in our lives. And now it's just going to be given to us just like that on the back.
But it's crazy because it's like with those type of situations, it looks like it's given to you, but at the end of the day,
it's a lump sum.
That's your money. Like, that's your money that you owe them when you finish. So, like,
so you better be selling mad screens and everything. And recoup all that money back.
Shirts.
If they put you in a 360 deal, which I hope not. Make sure you sell a lot of merch.
Oh yeah.
Get a nice merch designer, sell mad merch. So
definitely trying to avoid that.
Yeah. So final question.
Okay.
Where we go from here? Like, you gave us six tracks. Now I'm looking forward to what's the full course meal gonna be like. You know, what you got cooking up?
That's debatable right now. I consider going for a full album, project, or anything of that nature. But like, I think I might sit in EPs for a little while. I might dish out a couple of things.
This is a new phrase. Sit in EP. You heard it. You heard it here first.
Only because like I feel that the emotions that I want to portray in different points of time are very different from each other. I don't feel like they may sit well together. Right. Like the ideas that I have in my mind.
Shit, you might have to make it a 3-disc album and shit.
Give myself a little weekend thing going on.
Get her trapped in the closet shit going on. Nah, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't destroy your career.
Nah, man, I started getting weird.
Yeah, when everybody had AIDS in that damn thing. Oh my god.
No, but honestly, but if I might take a second to like get more visual. I think that that's where I want to go. I want to build visuals, and I have so many like cool like ideas in my head right now for what I want to do with Finally that I'm not even really thinking about new music right now. I'm thinking about visuals, and I'm thinking about showcases. Like, I really want to be that independent artist that you go to a show that they have and it's like different.
Yeah, and at least you got 6 songs to go off of. All of them tonight, they're good for performances.
Oh, definitely.
And
like, bring some love back with the Free Dope project. Like, we'll mix and mingle. And I'm definitely.
Don't go back to Swaggy Kim.
Don't go back to Swaggy. I gotta
go to Humble Kim. Humble Kim is popping right now. Humble Kim is like everybody's saying like, yo, she dope as hell.
Yeah, nah, definitely. I think this is a good place in my life right now, where I'm feeling good and I'm feeling confident about the music that's new and that I'm just putting out. I'm working on different features with a couple of artists that I've met recently and artists that I've worked with in the past, and we've both just grown and we're just like in similar places right now where this same kind of music can continue to, spill out. So we might be on this wave for a little bit. We might be.
Shit, you're good. You got one of the dopest projects out right now. It's out on Tidal, Google Play, right?
Yes, it's on a lot of things. Tidal,
iTunes,
Play,
Apple
iTunes.
Music, Deezer. No one knows what that shit is. No one knows. I have
any
music on
platform
Deezer.
of your choice.
Yeah, just not Bandcamp. She hates Bandcamp. Nah,
the views reflected on this show.
So for everybody who you want to get in contact with you, tell everybody your social media and everything.
Alright, you guys can check me out at Kkimmestry. That's Kkimmestry. That's for all social media platforms. Check me out on YouTube. Check out the new Finally video. Please do that. More visuals to come. For sure.
Dope video too. And not only that, I've been calling her Kkimmestry for so fucking long that she, like, when we at the beginning, we were supposed to have did this interview last week, and one time I was like, I was calling her like Kkimmestry. She was like, Charles, it's chemistry. I'm like, really? I've been calling you Kkimmestry for years. What's the point of the 2K?
I'm just different.
You weirdo? What the fuck is wrong with you?
I function on difference. I function dare to be different. For sure. The 2Ks, it just got a cool look to it.
At least it wasn't 3.
Yeah, it's me when it's 2Ks on it. Ain't 3.
Now, before we even leave, now you had the movie to sell out. What's your plan on making it viewable for everyone?
I'm working on the website now. I'm thinking that it'll be available exclusively on the website, so along with a lot of other sneak peeks and previews and dabbles into my life. Those will all be available exclusively on Kkimmestry.com. Coming soon. Give me a second. But so I just feel like anybody who subscribes, who's a diehard Kkimmestry fan, who wants to know a little bit more about me, and what's coming, just visit the site and you'll get the magic.
Yeah, she's gonna have like mad movies coming out. She's gonna have like mad action films coming out soon. All of them with black people.
Oh yeah.
She making sure she getting all the black karate masters and shit. She's gonna be doing mad dope films. But Kkimmestry, it was great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
And thank you, because this could not have been done without you. For everybody, like I've been saying for the last 3 episodes, if you really would like to help Gem Radio, we do have a Patreon, and it's at patreon.com/GoInTherePod. If you want to see more episodes like this, and you want to see someone like her get paid, damn it, get some money, give her some money, So, if you want to see more episodes, a lot more face-to-face episodes, video episodes, we need help.
Yeah.
Because I ain't paying for that shit. I need to make. We all broke. We all broke and independent.
Yeah.
We all coming out of a tree.
Gym radio.
Yes.